Hey everyone! Some top laners are really good at abusing their range advantage to get huge leads early, like Jace, Kennen, and Gnar. Learning to fully exploit this can lead to winning the game really early by tilting the top laners so hard that they rage quit. So in this video, we're going to be analyzing gameplay of a challenger top laner Niles, where he's playing Jace vs Tryndamere. The concepts in this video apply to other champions and matchups as well, not just Jace. For example, Kennen vs Darius, Teemo vs Tryndamere, or Gnar vs Mundo. Alright, let's break down the matchup and create a game plan. Jace is a melee and range bruiser versus Tryndamere, a melee bruiser. They have equal damage if they are all in on each other, but Jace wins burst trades while Tryndamere wins extended trades. Also, Jace has the range advantage and wave clear advantage until Tryndamere gets Tiamat. Jace wins this matchup by getting a health lead, then slow pushing to stack big waves, which creates a lot of openings to harass Tryndamere under tower. While doing this though, Jace is very vulnerable to ganks, so he needs to track the jungler. Tryndamere wins by surviving until he has Tiamat and Tabi, by giving up CS to avoid taking so much harass that he's diveable by Jace or his jungler. So knowing this, we can create a game plan for Jace. Mission 1, slow push the wave. By last hitting and slow pushing the wave, it sets up a large minion wave to crash on the tower, giving us a long window to harass. Mission 2, harass when he goes for CS. This is a staple for range vs melee matchups. If we harass him enough, he'll eventually get so low that he's forced out of lane or we'll dive him. Mission 3, look for dives or force them out of lane when they get too low. This will depend on where both junglers are and how the enemy laner is playing. So if they don't leave lane with really low health, sometimes we won't need our jungler to dive. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. Before laning even starts, Niles heads to the tribe rush and cheeses Tryndamere, chunking him for 50% of his health. This is something you can always look for on blue side as long as you're stronger level 1 and the enemy top laner needs the leash. Niles doesn't commit too hard on the trade and backs off while also dropping a ward and tribe rush. He knows that Kindred started red because Tryndamere leashed, and Kindred could potentially run straight top if he goes too hard on the trade. Now they both head to lane and Niles immediately gets aggressive. He harasses Tryndamere using his range advantage until he's forced to spin away. He knows he can do this because by chunking him level 1, Tryndamere can't all in him anymore. But if Tryndamere was full health, he could spin on Jace and use Ignite and a few lucky crits to potentially win the 1v1. Alright, after Tryndamere backs off, Niles can start slow pushing the wave for mission 1, by only using auto attacks on the wave and not using abilities. Niles starts to walk up because he's about to hit level 2 and looks for some more harass, which is a common strategy for any lane. The lane is going well so far, as he just hit level 2 and has a health advantage. But now that the wave is pushing, Niles has to start thinking about where the junglers are. He sees that Gragas is doing bot scuttle, which he thinks is a mistake. Gragas should realize that top is winning really hard, and should take top scuttle, which is Kindred's mark as well. Taking top scuttle helps a lot when playing champions that push because of the vision, and it would deny Kindred her mark. But as we know, junglers don't always play the way you want them to. So Niles has to think about what if Kindred is here. Well, he has a big wave from his slow push, and Kindred would only be level 2 if she ganked right now. Niles knows as long as he plays with his minion wave, he can easily kill at least one of them, especially with how low Tryndamere is. But luckily, we see Kindred a few seconds later contesting bottom scuttle, so Niles knows he can get as aggressive as he wants to now. Anyways, Niles is continuing mission 1 and slow pushing. As the wave pushes in, Tryndamere goes to grab these two minions, and Niles starts mission 2 and takes Tryndamere from 70% health to 45% by just autoing him when he stepped up to last hit. So something really cool that's happening right now that you might not notice is that every time Tryndamere steps up to even think about going for CS, Niles matches his movement and makes him think twice about it. Alright, Niles is about to hit level 3, so he walks up to get ready to harass. He hits it, then levels up his W and uses it on Tryndamere to get some more harass, setting up for mission 3. The next wave arrives, and his wave doesn't crash on the tower yet, but you might be wondering, why hasn't he crashed the wave yet? For mission 3? Well, the reasoning is, he wants as large of a wave as possible, especially because this is a cannon wave. The cannon minion takes a lot more tower shots than a normal minion, which gives us even more time to harass them and look for a dive, so you should only be diving when the wave is crashed. Moving on, Niles continues autoing the wave, and as soon as the red wave dies, he notices Tryndamere out of position as he's not standing behind his own minions, which gives Niles a window to land an empowered shock blast, dropping Tryndamere to 25% health, meaning he's really diveable now. The next wave arrives, giving Niles the big wave that he wants, so he lets his jungler know that he's looking to dive. But right before that, Tryndamere really makes things easy for them by greeting for this cannon minion and taking another chunk of harass for it. Then as he's backing off, Gragas comes from behind and they dive Tryndamere for a really easy kill. But what if Gragas didn't come for this dive? Two things could have happened. If Tryndamere stays under tower with that low health, Niles would just dive him anyways by himself. Or Tryndamere would leave the tower entirely and recall to lose 15 CS and put himself way behind. After they get the kill, he clears the next wave before recalling, so he has more gold to spend, and it makes sure his next wave crashes and denies Tryndamere even more CS since he doesn't have TP. Alright, now Niles has to think about if he should TP back to lane or not. If you were him in this situation, what would you do? The correct choice here is to save TP, because he's not going to miss anything by not using it, and doesn't gain anything by using it, so it's better to just save it for a different, more productive time. So, he heads back to lane, and when he gets there, the wave is about to crash on his tower, but he pulls the minions to the side to make sure they don't crash and freezes the wave. This forces Tryndamere to walk up to the wave, letting Niles go in for a quick burst trade, and Tryndamere can't retaliate because Niles has his tower behind him, preventing Tryndamere from getting any extended trades. After that, Niles continues the pressure and is constantly auto-attacking Tryndamere. He can do this even with Tryndamere's wave trading back for him because he's ahead and wins trades that he normally wouldn't if they were even. If they were even, Niles would focus on starting mission 1 again as soon as he got back to lane. After getting some nice harass onto Tryndamere, he starts mission 1 again and switches to hammer form to auto minions. Since autoing minions with hammer form gives you mana back, you don't need to worry about mana as long as you have control of the lane. After getting some mana back, Tryndamere walks close enough for Niles to jump to him with Q and start a trade. Starting a trade like this from hammer form allows you to get your hammer form abilities and cannon form abilities off. Sometimes when starting a trade in cannon form, they retreat before getting the chance to use hammer form. So, when Tryndamere spins away, then Niles finishes the trade off with his range. Alright, with that really nice trade, we can start missions 2 and 3 quicker than before by pushing the wave faster. But before doing that, we need to make sure the jungler isn't here, as that's Tryndamere's only way to get back in the game. He goes to ward, but he should have seen Kindred already fighting bot, which allows Tryndamere to get 2 uncontested CS, so the lane's pretty much thrown. As he gets back to lane, he pings Gragas to start heading towards top to get ready to dive again, so Niles focuses on getting his CS while crashing the big wave on the tower. The wave crashes now, so Tryndamere has to decide whether to take a bunch of harass to get CS, or to give up the CS and Niles can just focus on getting tower damage. He starts working on the tower, then when Tryndamere is about to go for the cannon minion, Niles repositions so he can full combo Tryndamere when he goes for it, then backs out of tower range. Tryndamere tries to follow with Flash and Ignite, but doesn't have the damage and is too low to continue the trade. But Niles could only go for this big trade under tower because he saw Kindred bot side, and because his jungler is on his way to top to dive. So taking a lot of health off of Tryndamere will make the dive even easier. After that big trade, Gragas comes from behind again and they get another easy kill. After killing him, Niles immediately recalls instead of pushing the next wave and TPs back. He pushed the wave last time and didn't TP. Why is it any different this time? Well, since Gragas is staying topside in the enemy jungle and Niles is low on health, if Gragas and Kindred get in a fight, he's too low to help. Also, with Gragas staying topside, by TPing back he can keep the wave shoved and set up the dive again, especially with how behind Tryndamere is. It gets easier and easier to dive. Anyways, he TPs back to lane and is autoing to start mission 1 yet again. He sees Gragas doing raptors, so he knows Kindred shouldn't be topside. Knowing this, when Tryndamere starts walking up for CS, Niles does the hammer form opener that we talked about earlier to chunk Tryndamere really hard. Right after he takes that much damage, he's basically dead already. Gragas is sitting topside ready to dive, and even if he wasn't here, he could just dive in by himself anyways or take the tower. Tryndamere knows what's coming this time around and ends up leaving the tower. They see him on the minimap near red buff, while this huge wave is dying. He ends up coming back to the tower, and as he gets there they dive him right away and make him rage quit. But if Gragas wasn't here, Niles would just focus on getting the tower as it's really low and Tryndamere is 2 levels down. There's no way he could actually 1v1 Jace at this point. Alright, now that Tryndamere quit and is 0-3 with 17 CS to Niles' 60 CS, let's do a quick recap before finishing the video. At the start, Niles knew Kindred would start red buff and Tryndamere would have to leash, so he went to top Tribrush and waited for Tryndamere. He cheesed him and took 50% of his health. They went to lane and Niall started slow pushing while harassing Tryndamere whenever he stepped up too far or went for CS. Before crashing the big wave and getting too aggressive, Niles made sure Kindred wasn't around as he saw our bot side contesting Scuttle. Knowing this, he punished Tryndamere every time he went for CS. Eventually Gragas came, and since he was so low he was really easy to dive. After killing him, he didn't TP back because he wouldn't have gained or lost anything by using it and wanted to save it for later. When he got back to lane, the wave was pushing to him, so he froze for a little, then eventually slow pushed another wave to Tryndamere while harassing just like before, and they end up diving him again. This time though, he actually uses his TP because Gragas stayed topside jungle and he wanted to keep the pressure to dive again. He TPs back to lane, chunks him again, then dives him again, making him rage quit. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks for watching.